Yeah,
Yo,
let's go.
yo.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Huh?
what's up with the D? Ah,
Ain't shit, Mac, huh? It's
that's
your
what we
boy D
call it.
Holla
You
and my
heard?
man here.
What's popping with it?
Oh man, how was your day, homie?
Man, everything was good until I got to work. Like when I wake up in the morning, everything's good. It was sunshiny, bright day. I know it's gonna be fucking hot. I'm in the Midwest where it's and then when you in St. Louis, you're in the middle of the map. So you might
Mm-hmm.
get the what they call the warm front from down south, and you might get the cold front from up north. But this is one of them days where you can get literally, or this is one of them weeks where you can literally probably almost get every season in one fucking week, except for this week chooses to be the hot season. So you might get a 60-degree day and it still feel hot. You might get a 70-degree day and it still feel hot. But today we got one of them 90-degree days and it feel like it's 95 plus. And then last week I told you how motherfuckers don't show up to work on me on Wednesdays. If you in the St. Louis region and you want to work on Wednesdays, I'll give you a job right fucking now. Holler at me behind the scenes, MacJ78 at motherfucking Instagram or MacJ78 at yahoo.com on the motherfucking PayPal. But I'm sick of these motherfuckers, D. I'm sick of them. I'm sick. I'm tired.
More than one Wednesday this shit happened to you, man. It's not good,
Man,
man.
6 in a row. But what's going on with you, though, bro? I ain't gonna complain to
Everything
you.
good, man. I had a productive day, did some running around, spent some money and all that, that's about it.
Okay. Okay. And see, you off on Wednesdays, right?
Wednesdays, day off, man.
Man.
Gotta go
I
back to
would
work.
I would say you a lucky motherfucker because it was the middle of the week and you was off. But then I'm off on weekends, so I don't want motherfuckers to be like, you complaining about working, but you off on the weekend.
Shit,
Weekends ain't
I'm
no
off
way. It's
on
always
weekends
cracked
too,
up to me.
man. Shit, I'm
Oh,
off
you
on
off
weekends
Wednesdays
and
and
stuff.
weekends?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm envying you right now. I ain't gonna hate on you, but when somebody asks me, I'm gonna tell them. I say, man, my bro, he off Wednesdays and the weekends. You cocksuckers, get like him,
Shit, I go in, man. I get them hours. Sometimes I
man.
work on weekends, do some other work at the clubs and all that. They
Okay,
call me,
okay.
hey, can you come in? Yeah, sure. Let me see what I can do.
You got it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got D fucked up. He getting to the bag. You know what I'm saying? At all times. Hey, but D, I want to ask you something else though too, because it's Memorial Day weekend
Uh-huh.
coming into this week, and we went through a whole lot of shit. Me and you, we don't speak on all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
we on something different. Let's talk that shit, and that's not the shit we're gonna talk about. But what I'm saying is, we came into a whole nother week. So basically, Memorial Day starts off is the kickoff to summer. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like after Memorial Day, it's fully in. Before you know it, you will be buying fireworks, sparklers, and all this other shit for your kids come 4th of July. This and
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? And so some people say, well, how you look at the holidays in the summer is about getting with family and everybody together, this and that. But me growing up, man, I always had a split family, man. And sometimes this is when you seen that it was split because both of my dad got two brothers that's black like he is, but both of their wives is white, and they were married before I was even born. So
Mm-hmm.
we never knew the contrast of why is my cousin looking like Stephen Curry or it's easy now because everybody know interracial relationships and shit like that. But
Mm-hmm.
tonight we talking interracial relationships, man. And
Yep.
I grew up being around white people and didn't know why I was around white people. But at the same time, I had black people teaching me black pride. So let's get
Mm-hmm.
into this shit, man. Let's talk that shit, man.
Let's talk that shit, man.
Let's talk that motherfucking shit.
Yeah, everyone has a family member themselves that's biracial, whether you're black and Puerto Rican, or your mom's is Puerto Rican, your dad is black, or your mom's is white, your dad is black, or your father's Dominican, your mother's Puerto Rican. It's all the same. Interracial dating. Like I want to say, the South, you'll see more interracial relationships. mainly like I would say Virginia, North and South Carolina. A lot of the white women out there marrying black men, having mixed babies. You know, I mean, some of them was just as light as Blake Griffin. You know, or
Right,
like Derek Jeter. You know, real light. Or like you
right.
said, Steph Curry. You know, you
Steph
don't know.
Curry, motherfucking Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
All
I
these
think
motherfuckers.
Steph. Yeah,
Go
Steph
ahead.
Curry parents are black. Just his mother's real light skin. His dad used to play in the NBA. He was a shooter, so he's brown skin. So of course, you know the son came out. Both his sons came out like Steph and
Right,
Steve.
but ain't they mama mixed and shit? Or she
So
white, some shit like
I
that?
believe so. Yeah, I believe
Yeah, that's
so.
what I'm saying. Like she mixed. Them ain't the only reason why we say them some real niggas because look at their hair. You know what I'm
Huh.
saying? Like and this go to that. Like everybody will say, no matter if you got a white parent or a black parent, if you got one drop of black blood in you, they always gonna consider you black. And
Mhm.
see, like I said, both of my dad's brothers, which they both older than him, they got white wives that they was married with before I was even born. I got
Mhm.
cousins that's older than me that was already mixed. So we never knew why Aunt Kathy was white or Aunt Sharon was white. We just that was just the auntie. They could whoop your ass the same way my black aunties could whoop us. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like we never knew that shit until we got older, or sometimes listening to other kids, but mostly the majority of the times listening to other adults. I never learned nothing from a whole bunch of kids. I always learned shit from people that was adults when I was young because I didn't want to listen to motherfuckers that were the same age as me because I was always like, motherfucker, I know the same shit you know. You stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas had to prove me wrong.
Mhm.
But when it came to interracial dating, I never understood why maybe my grandmother wasn't as close with my white auntie as she was with my black auntie. Do you think times have changed from well, we know times have changed from interracial dating back in the day till it is now, but the way people perceive interracial dating as far as intermingling with families.
Yeah, things have changed over the past 15, 20 years because it's more accepted now. You know, families you know, like if you have a great grandfather who his mind is you only mess with your own and the child, like let's say an let's say an Italian daughter and she comes from a strict Italian family and she
Facts.
meets a young black man and she falls in love. If they're if they start, you know, putting in her head like she's supposed to date her own while you with him and da da da, you know, it's up to her. If her parents taught her
Hmm.
to love anyone, you know, you like who you like, you love who you love, she'll have an open mind to dating outside her race, you know.
Right.
Some families are where they're so stubborn they want to stick they want them their own people to stick together instead of mingling with other races. Cause that's like
Hmm.
some families don't like it, others like they accept it because it comes natural nowadays. You know,
Right. Is it so?
like
So
some of
basically, like
this.
it's accepted. Like she
Yeah,
really
yeah.
can't do nothing about it anyway. She gonna fuck with these black
Nah, nah.
dudes, or my black daughter gonna fuck with these white boys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like we just trying to love the dude for who he is or whatever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because we whoop a black dude ass just like if my sister had a white boyfriend, we whoop his motherfucking ass too if he get out of line, if need
Yeah,
be. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
This.
because when it all boils down, we ain't seeing color. When it's life or death, you don't see color.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When your life getting choked out of you, you don't look at it like this white boy choking me. You just looking at it like this motherfucker choking me. I can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? So when it all boils down, because see, I grew up in an environment where I had interracial. All my cousins on my dad's side, by my two uncles, is half white, half black, mulatto or whatever. And we originally from New Orleans. Shouts out to Jamaria, the homegirl. She from New Orleans too. You know what I'm saying? But my people was what they call mulatto. And if you look up mulatto in the dictionary in most places, it just say a mixture of white ancestry and black ancestry. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, but who dictated that? Because we also know that black people could get killed for even trying to talk to other white people.
Mhm.
So where did it come down to where it was acceptable from one standpoint to build to where it's at right now. Because that's what people don't know. It had to build from somewhere. How many people was hiding the fact that they baby was mixed until they baby got dark? Even so much to say, like with the royal wedding over in England, they say this girl is mixed. She look like she a white girl, but if you look at her mama, shit, I probably know her mama. You look like the bitch that sells socks up the street. You know what I'm saying, for $5 a pack. She ain't no different than nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like we all the same color. When you the same color.
Yeah, she's just a little lighter than than everyone else. Her mother is, you could tell her mom's is mixed from the way her mom's looking, the way she looked. Like her dad's white, her mother's black, but she's mixed with something else, And
So her mother
there's nothing wrong with that, having mixed breed. They call it a mixed breed back then when I was coming up. It's just, some kids will say, whatever your father's is, that's what you are. Like your father's black and your mother's let's say from Trinidad. Like, well, you're just black, Well, my mother's from Trinidad, my dad is from the South,
Right.
It all depends. Like I say in the South, it's more. You'll see it more like in Virginia, North and South Carolina, places like Louisiana, hell, even in Missouri, that.
Facts. I'm right.
I used to work out there in Missouri, and plenty white girls was thick like she was Dominican and had mixed babies. Like, oh my, they let it be known. Yeah, his father's black, and like, oh, okay, they're proud of because they don't care what people say or think about them. Nowadays is women get mad at the men, at us black men. We date outside of race. Yeah, you date a white woman, and when a sister dates a white dude, we get upset. Like there was videos where.
Right, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say I ain't even got to say videos. D. How many times have you looked at a fine ass black girl that was with a white dude and you was like, what the fuck she doing with him?
Yeah.
Like even in your subconscious, like this white dude could be the best dude for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know this fuck because I got white homies too, and I done had white homies date black females, and I done hooked up white homies with black females. Like shit, if you gonna fuck with a white boy, you might as well fuck with with my homie John over here. You know what I'm saying? He ain't John B, but you know what I'm talking about? Like shit, he fuck with the crew. You know what I'm saying? Be part of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck with my guy. He got flavor for you. You got flavor for him. Whatever. We ain't tripping off that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I have seen. And I'm not even talking about black girls that I was always attracted to. I done seen black girls that I wasn't attracted to with white dudes, and I was subconsciously thinking like, what the fuck is she doing with him? Or I felt like he had some strange power over her, and that's why she was fucking with him. Like I felt like she was my sister, and she wasn't my sister. Is that because we both black and we share the same struggle, or was it because I'm on some slick hating shit?
It's more, it seems like it's hate because you looking at her like she made the biggest mistake, but then when they see us do it,
I might not even know this girl. You know what I'm saying?
Most of the time you don't. If it's someone you say something like most people say this shit out loud, like, what the fuck you with this white boy? Like, damn.
Yeah, man.
Make him feel uncomfortable.
This liver lip looking motherfucker, what the fuck you doing here? I got a homeboy over here that had pussy in about 4 years. Because a lot of these niggas be talking about they be getting pussy and they don't be getting shit. So I'm gonna hook, and I'm like, damn, what this nigga doing? That, you know what I'm saying, that he doing. But this white dude could really be the fucking best choice for her. You feel what I'm saying? I don't get it.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like I remember my uncle calling. My uncle's out in this when he was living in Virginia Beach. He called me years ago, like, yo, nephew, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? He's like, yo, you gotta come out here, come see me. We go to these they be having these beach parties on the beach. I'm like, word? He said, yo, these white girls got here thick like they Puerto Rican and Dominican girls. I'm like, yo, stop lying. I remember my parents went out there to see my uncle and his wife and everything, because his wife and my mom used to be best friends when I was a kid. And my uncle calls me. He's like, yo, and he's with my stepfather. He's like, yo, tell D that these the white girls just think. He was like, man, he said, listen, dude, you need to come out here, man.
What you do? Did you go
He
out
was
there?
like, I said, send me a picture, man. Shit.
I sent you some pictures today. A son with the fatty
Yeah, man.
McFadden. That's what I call him, the fatty McFadden. And see, this was crazy. See, all the women in the world need to bow down right now as we speaking and pay homage to the curves and the essence of the black woman. But at the
Facts.
same time, instead when they do that, black women, don't get the big head and think you're just better than them. Because I done seen some white girls and some Asian girls, and these girls out here doing these exercises. They got the Facebook page. I done seen some fatty McFaddersons
Mm.
on some of these white girls. And you be see when I was coming up, these white girls, they was SpongeBob Square. They was SpongeBob SquarePants before the cartoon came out. We called them
Mm-hmm.
square cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like they might have the big bosom, but they might not have the big ass. The black girls was known for the big ass. Hence, baby got back and all that type of shit. So
Mm-hmm.
what drives us to the black girls getting mad at us fucking with white girls when we not physically attracted to them because we already know what we like. We know what we used to. Is it the fact that we want to fuck with a white girl because it's something that we ain't accustomed to getting? So the challenge is I gotta have me a white because I feel like I know a few dudes that only fuck with white girls because they want to tell a motherfucker that I fuck with these white girls or I got
Mm-hmm.
these white bitches or whatever. But for real, they still attracted to black girls off tops. But they only fuck with white girls just so they can say, man, look at it. This bad. The same way with like down south, you got the yellow bones and you know what I'm saying. You got the dark bone or whatever. You
You
know
got
what
a
I'm saying?
red bone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You get you a little red, but red might be a little different than the yellow piece. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know, a yellow might be an upstanding from a red bone to some people. Everybody got their own, you know, opinion on what they like. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
I think
'Cause
it's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's dealing with white women,
mhm.
dealing with Spanish women, dealing with any woman outside your race is not a bad thing. You know, most women they look at the guy like, oh, he got some nice hair. Oh, I would love to have his baby. What's the old saying? Oh, he must got Indian in his family. Look at his hair, and it's off of that, like how the babies will come out to look. If he got green eyes or blue eyes, that's what she
Right.
likes. Like, oh man, my baby's gonna come out beautiful. He's gonna have like
I never.
halo eyes and all that. And this is in their mind. You know, if they deal with someone outside the race, they're looking at what can that person do for them. Like when you deal with a white woman, we talking about if they a freak or not, how good is it, and they can help us develop some type of credit. You know, fix our credit.
Right.
You know,
Defeat.
that's how it is. You know, it's like damn. You
Right.
know
So
that like
so
look
you
at.
need. But see, I looked at it differently because I had two white women in my family. So
Uh huh.
and them bitches they was just like us, man. They was with my uncle. So what the fuck was they gonna get? You know what I'm saying? So my perception on white women at an early age was just see that's who he got with. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Uh
told
huh.
us he met in high school and then the world was different back then. You had people that was high school sweethearts and ended up being it's different for us though because man, I probably loved like 50 bitches when I was in school, but all of them hoes I piss on their back and tell them it's raining today. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. It ain't one girl that I was fucking with when I was in high school that I said I was gonna be with forever. You know what I'm saying? We was just
Mhm.
going through the motions. That's what they call it. We was going through the motions or whatever. But now it's like, you know, when I first coming to my own as being a young adult, I was
Mhm.
always about man. I ain't because my grandma used to tell me. I grew up with my grandparents. Don't you bring no white girls over here.
Oh,
Like we was
I
getting
used to hear
we
that. I used to hear that too, man.
we was actually getting told that. So
Uh huh.
if my parents telling me that, I know the white girls that I was liking, they parents telling me you better not bring no nappy head, chicken eating, watermelon. You know they really try to get vulgar with it.
Oh
You better
no, they
not
don't
bring
try. They do. They
yeah,
like
you know,
big
don't
lip
you bring
monkey looking motherfucker. That's the shit they
man.
used to say back in the day,
Hey
man.
look, but my grandparents used to say shit though. You better not bring no square cheek, liver lip, wet lettuce eating ass. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way they talk them black jokes, we talk them white jokes too. We know how
Uh
to
huh.
clap back. That's understood. But when I first moved to Missouri, it was a different atmosphere for me. Even though growing up in Chicago, we got some of everything, but we in neighborhoods, man, we fuck with who we fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Period. So every now and then you got that one white family that's in the hood, and they can say nigga. The white families that lived in the hood, they was niggas. They was just like us. They didn't have
Uh-huh.
fucking nothing. We didn't care about. We knew, and we used to warn them. Hey, you can say that around us, but you better be careful when we go over there to the west side, cause they don't know your white ass.
Uh-huh.
They
They
might
beat
beat
your ass for that.
they'll beat your Moses looking ass daddy the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? He out of here. You know what I'm saying? We know him, but they don't know him. So they knew the shit. They knew the code. They knew when to use it, when not to use it. But what I'm saying
Uh-huh.
is, when you dating them and you starting to have children with them and you intermingling families. So then me years later, my youngest son's mother, she half Filipino and white. But her mother been over here for 30 years and sound like she just got off a boat last week.
Mm.
She over here through white eyes, marry a white dude. You had kids, blah, 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 don't work out. You got some friends, they teach you how to shoot a nigga. You get the bread, blah, 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 blah. We can keep going and going and going and going. But motherfuckers looking at me like, damn, you should talk all this shit. But I never looked at her as a white girl, but she really was in America as a white girl. Even though
Mm-hmm.
her mama from the Philippines, they got that privilege that we don't have.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but
all of a sudden, Malcolm X, MHT, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? When I'm talking all this shit to these white motherfuckers, damn nigga, you got a white girl prayer. I said she ain't white, she Filipino, but her daddy white.
yeah.
So what is she really? Even though she didn't live with her daddy and grow up with her daddy, she's still white.
Yeah, but
My
who
son
does she
got some white
favor?
in
The
him.
mother's side or the father's side?
Well, you know them
That's what
right
they
skinned
look at.
motherfuckers, man. She favor her mother's side, but her daddy is a white dude, man. And then what how her mother is perceived in America and the type of life she lives, she experienced America through white eyes, not black eyes.
Mm.
These motherfuckers ain't never stayed in the hood. Now, like they had to learn black people because I fucked with their daughter. You know what I'm saying? They
So you
thought
took
black
it to
people.
the hood and showed her was how different it is from the hood to the suburbs and how the
Yeah,
food is
man.
tastes different. You know how
Yeah,
it's
and I thought I
seasoned.
Yeah, and I was so happy because all the niggas used to want to fuck with her because they thought she was Mexican for real.
Uh-huh.
But she wasn't Mexican. She just, her hair just dark like that. They thought she was Latino, but nah, she a rice eater, man. You know what I'm saying? She got a pepper gut. You know what I'm saying?
A rice eater.
Yeah, they like to eat patties and shit. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They eat shit that I think is disgusting, and I was just so happy, like, shit, man, I got the, little thorough yellow piece, the real yellow piece. Them Asians is the real yellow pieces. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing how they was gonna perceive and not knowing what if I bring a seed into the world, how can I raise my son when he multicultural as far as the skin tone?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. My cousin, well, before my grandmother passed, he lived out there with my grandmother, and since where he lived at was in Lincolnton, North Carolina. So it was like all the people he went to school with was predominantly white. So he had white girlfriends. He's like 6'5", 6'6", real slim, and all the
Right.
white girls used to like him. Dark skinned kid, like he country as fuck. Voice and be like, hey, D, what's going on, man? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what's going on? He like, yeah, this is my girl, da da da. And the white girl he had, she was thick than a motherfucker. I'm like, damn, nigga, how old is she?
That's what
17. Damn, man, what the fuck?
niggas always want
And
to
hit it, and
see you for a nigga. Real
yeah,
niggas
and
always ask
her
for a
mother,
nigga
her mother's husband was black. So I'm guessing like he showed her she had soul food. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she been
She
eating
talking
that
about
blueberry cornbread, nigga.
nah, nah. She's talking about eating fried chicken and having cornbread too, some cabbage and greens, and she talking about eating pig feet. I'm like, oh shit, word.
Yeah, she a
I
nasty
was like,
bitch.
damn, you got yourself a real one, huh?
Yeah, she eat pig feet, man. That bitch nasty. But I feel what you're saying though, D, because look, black girls, they get mad at black guys for dating outside of the race. But have they really asked themselves the real reason why we dating outside of the race?
Mm,
Okay, the obvious things like you said earlier, man, they can hook your credit up. But I done met some broke ass white bitches. Them bitches ain't finna hook up shit. Especially when even if they got bread. When they folks find out they fucking with somebody else like that, they getting cut off. White folks cut their people off. You out of here. They disown their
Not
people.
necessarily. Not some of
Man,
them.
they
Some
out of
of them
there.
will try, but if they love if they
B.
love their daughter, they will after a while they'll start to accept it. Like, you know what? If she
They
let it be
don't
known who
okay,
she's dating
B.
with,
My
what?
thing is they gonna let it be accepted when you put that baby in them because they gonna probably love that baby. But until
Of
then,
course.
you still that yellow blueberry cornbread eating ass nigga. You need to leave him alone and start fucking with Johnny. You gotta fuck with Timothy. You know what I'm
She
saying?
don't
They
want
almost
Johnny no more. She
yeah. She want
she
Tyrone.
want John.
She don't want Johnny. She want Jamal, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Jamal hitting her with them digging them balls. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like she hitting him with it. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason it may be, but one thing I'll say, tell these black girls, y'all keep thinking we want to be with them because y'all nagging and shit and all that. No, we want to be with them because all women is beautiful, and some of these white girls is banging, my nigga. They
Nowadays
fucking
they
like
are.
they going to the gyms and shit. They learning the same shit. They starting to like seasoned food. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they were just eating lettuce and shit. These motherfuckers is eating wings, stopping all this shit. They know how to put this shit. I done seen white girls, and I can't believe. I'm talking about natural white girls too, because I
Hmm.
done seen a lot of fake white girls and fake black girls too getting their injections. I'm talking about all natural. And when I was in school, white girls was known to have big titties and flat asses. Nah, you can't say that shit no more, man. You
Mm-mm.
can't say that shit, man. You can't, even if you hating on them, you can say, and I'm talking about with the Latina girls and the Asians too. If these girls about their body and they know how to embrace, like white girls back in the day used to get mad if they had a fat ass. They used to get
Well,
mad at
because
that
the
shit.
white guy would tell them, no, she's fat. I'm like, no, I like that shit. That
Man,
shit's
these white girls, man,
beautiful.
I'm telling you, B, I tried to take a couple snaps today for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get
So
them
the
for you.
side shot, I was like, look at this nigga.
Man, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to not be creeper, man, but somebody gotta see this. Like when I see if I see somebody that's beautiful and I didn't expect to see it, somebody gotta share in this experience with me, man. Like look at
Yeah,
that
but
ass, man. I ain't never seen a white girl with a plackety placket cow like Martin used to say and some more shit like
he's
God
like, clack, clack,
damn.
clack, clack, clack.
It's the same. It's the same way when you see a black girl and she got a pretty ass face and shit, and then you really assess what she going with. You be like, damn, her face don't match her skin. But that don't mean she ain't no real ass woman and she gonna hold you down and this and that. But I'm just talking about expectations.
Hmm.
I'm not a saint, so fuck it. You can call me shallow or whatever. A bitch can look at me and be like, look at this nigga, man. He look hella bogus. They can call me bogus, but guess what? Bitch, I'll call you bogus back. But when I'm talking about looking at some thick ass, ain't nothing like seeing a woman that you didn't expect to be thick, racially being thick, bro.
Oh yeah. Like, look at I'm gonna give you an example. Look at Tiny Ti's wife. Well,
Yeah,
I think they still married. Her parents, she's biracial. Her mom's is
yeah.
white.
You see her
Her
mama,
dad is
yo,
black.
her
Yeah, and
mama look like a British
she,
bulldog
you
with
know,
a face.
here's the
You know
thing.
what I'm saying?
Tiny said her parents are the second. They were the second biracial couple to be married in Atlanta, Georgia. The second. So there was someone before them. Like, they were married before her dad passed. Her
It's great.
parents were married for over 20,
Right. It's
I think
great.
over
It's great.
25,
It's
30
crazy that
years.
you say that because my English teacher in my senior year in Memphis, she was like in the top 10 of her and her husband was both teachers. He was ROTC, Army ROTC. We had
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they got ROTC at a lot of the schools, but they used to have it at my school. And he was the head of the ROTC, and he was white, and he married Miss Ames. Well, her name wasn't even Ames. His name was Mr. Ames, but
Hmm.
they was like the first recorded. Like they got married like a couple years after Martin Luther King got killed in Memphis.
Oh, wow.
So like
Okay.
72, 73, and like they got fired from jobs and shit. You know, I should have did a little more research so I could have really read what was going on. But it wasn't national news, but it was known news, especially in Memphis. If they say who was one of the first interracial couples to get news coverage in Memphis, it was teachers, and she ended up being my English teacher, man, and she was hella cool. and she was
Yeah.
like straight black, like from like I think she was from like Senatobia, Mississippi. So they ain't like some up north black folks that came back. Nah, like she was from the gutter, like the Delta. I don't know if y'all know
Mm,
what the Delta is. If we got any Mississippi listeners, you know what I'm saying? Hit the live chat, like the Delta. They know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like deep
mm,
South, Ku Klux Klan, like they snatching niggas out their cribs, undocumented murders because of
mm.
interracial dating. Chuck Berry, Jack Johnson got stripped of the title, I think, or was it Joe? No, I think it was Jack Johnson got stripped of the title and got prosecuted because he was basically fucking with a white woman. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Chuck Berry went to jail. They say he was the king of rock and roll, but he was a pervert too. That's a whole nother story. But you know, he was the real original Bill Cosby. But you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Chuck Berry. He in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all that shit.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, everybody know who Chuck Berry is in the rock and roll type of shit, but he ended up going to jail because he crossed state lines to have sex with white girls.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So where
Yeah.
have we come from back
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
to right now? What we at now with it, D?
Well, right now, everything is accepted. It doesn't matter what race, what background you come from. Only, I think there's a few religions where they only marry within their their religion, like Jewish. You have Muslims. So if they like, I was told that that a Muslim man can marry any woman because no matter who he has a kid or that child will be Muslim. If a Muslim women can't marry and have kids by in just anyone. They have to their religion has to stay the same. Like
Right.
a Muslim woman's not going to marry a black man from the South. Because the child wouldn't be Muslim anymore. So that's what I was told. I was like, oh, I
Wow.
guess that makes sense. But they had what you talking about, the
That's
Chuck
crazy, man.
Barrington. They have a
I never heard
movie
that.
out that came out about a white man who's married to a black woman, and it sounded like something you was just talking about, where they had to go across state lines in order for it to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
They made a movie about, like, I want to say two maybe 3 years ago about that. It's supposed to
See,
have been a true story.
they documented Chuck Berry a little bit in that movie, Cadillac Records. You know what I'm saying? I think
Uh
Beyonce
huh.
was in that shit. She played like Ella James and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was just showing like it didn't dive into all the way of why he got locked up and shit like
Hmm.
that, but it gave you the implement. It let you know that not too long ago somebody got arrested just because he had white groupies.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like these bitches was on him. He wasn't on them. You know what I'm saying? He was a rock and roll star, and not rock and roll star like how we look at our rock and roll stars, but still a known dude that had means and ways to travel around and get paid to do what he wanted to do. So yeah, everybody was jocking. So how many times did he get reported for fucking with black women? None. But how many times did he get reported for fucking with white women? When they found out about the shit, they locked the nigga up for it. You know what I'm saying? And then my uncles turned around a few years later and still married white women to where they had kids before I was even born. So some of the first cousins I know on my dad's side, they all mixed, and we didn't understand why. We never
Uh-huh.
knew that. It took other kids when we was going to school be like, "That ain't your real cousin. His mama white. How he over?" Like I don't know how he my cousin, my nigga, but you know what I'm saying? You put your hands on them niggas like that. That's how we do shit, you know? You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like we always knew shit off fight. It always took adults and ignorant motherfuckers to let us know real shit. And our folks just hid us from it. Hid us from it. They just said, uh, if uh if a white person call you a nigga, we was encouraged to protect ourselves against that shit.
Oh yeah.
But we was never told to go and call white people hunkies. Like
No,
you
I was.
like
That's why I heard
I
my
never
grandmother say
for real.
that.
I heard them say it, so that meant we was gonna say it, but they never told us when you see a white person, go out there and call them a hunky. They always told us if they call you a nigga, call them a hunky. It was always defense. It was never offense. So we seen a white dude in our neighborhood. we never ran up on them and screamed at them. You know why? Because I already knew white people, meaning my aunties and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, I end up having a baby with a biracial female, but people relate to her as being strictly white here. Even
Mm-hmm.
though niggas ask me, was she Mexican? You know what I'm saying? Like, and nah, her mama been here for 30 years. She sounded like she just got from the Philippines last week, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I respect her for that because she get to teach my son. So now I want to dive into like with the children. Like, how do you raise your child as a biracial child? Like, what do I tell my son when I'm black? Do I tell him he black, or do I tell him to embrace everything?
Well, you tell them to brace everything. Now they got these tests where you take these what's that, family tree or genie? I forgot what they call it. Where you could,
Genealogy or whatever that shit is.
yeah, they take your DNA and it'll tell you which part of the country is your ancestors from, or where, they tell you like I saw in the commercial one lady said she's like 70% African, where her family's from the Congos, and one said Europe, and one said Russia. Like it basically breaks down every part of your DNA, and it'll tell you exactly where your ancestors came from. So
Hmm.
I look at kids today, like my family's from the South, my daughter's family, her grandmother father is
Hey,
Italian.
if you got black in you and
Hmm.
it's traditionally from the United States, all your family, we all from the fucking South, my nigga.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We all from the fucking South, depending on where we was from. You either from the South or the Midwest, because you had to be here before they went west. And you know what I'm saying? So even if your folks been in New York for 3 generations, where they come from before that, they made it to America through the South. Probably Charleston, South Carolina, to be exact. They won't tell us
Hmm.
that though. They won't really tell us that. And then you had motherfuckers getting killed in Charleston, South Carolina, on motherfucker walking in the church and just shooting everybody up. But that's where a lot of motherfuckers landed first. But what made us start diving into seeing the realism of interracial relationships? From you being you, D Holla, have you ever been in a racial relationship before going to this break real quick?
Uh, I with a Spanish girl. I haven't
Don't
really been
front,
with a
my
white
nigga.
girl yet.
Oh, you ain't had a pink toe.
Nah,
That's what we talking
nah.
about.
I
They had
I
a pink
had
toe.
a few opportunities, but it didn't go down. It didn't go down. Like talk to
Oh,
one, like, hey, how you doing? Oh, like one girl was like, her parents told her, it's not okay to date a black man. I was like, why not? Come up with some lame excuse because her grandfather said they had bags for her. So what your grandparents or what your parents went through, you're not gonna go through the same thing. I mean,
right.
some kids, they listen to what they were taught, and that's how they start to think. And when they meet someone that's like you go to college, and you go to college, it's like, let's say 75% of the 80% of the colleges is white students. Some of them
Right.
haven't seen a black man or a Hispanic man in their life until they got to college, so they don't know
Hmm.
how to act. They don't know what
Right.
to say. They don't know what to
Or
do.
they might have seen one because I won't believe that nowadays with TV and social media. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
all
yeah.
see the black, but like in the flesh though. Like the only way they know a black person is through what they seen on TV, or they think everybody is LeBron.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then they meet that thug nigga for real, and next thing you know, they daughter pregnant with twins by this nigga.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that black dude, his mom and them looking at like, man, we've been trying to keep you away from these folks and make sure you straight on this and that. And you done went and got this white girl pregnant with twins, my nigga. Like you tripping. See, that's what I'm saying. People don't look at that side. Like the contrast to dealing with different cultures. Like this bitch don't got a clue. You don't got a clue what you finna get yourself into diving into they world. But that shit is finna change, D Holler, because the majority of everybody in the United States is gonna be somewhat multicultural, man.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of this country, was that people from all over could come from somewhere. So why are we still focused on or getting mad because we dating outside of what's a custom? Ain't this country designed for us to fuck with other people?
Mm-hmm.
So should somebody look down upon my son because he got multiple bloods in his system? No, I feel like they the ultimate motherfuckers. Not only do he got the best of both worlds, he got the best of three worlds now. Or if he mixed with four people, he got the best of four worlds. So it's up to us to teach our children what they got in them and let them embrace what they want to embrace. Because I done seen we can't judge them on like all white girls got small booties. No, the fuck they don't. Because I done seen some black girls out here with some pancake booties. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of them going around.
I done seen girls with leggings on. And I'm like, bitch, why is you wearing leggings? Oh, the only reason why you wearing leggings is because you a girl. And your cousin should have told you, take them off. They should have said, we is not going to the mall, and you got them on. Put some goddamn, see, that's where they missing the old school at too. Sometimes somebody gotta tell you, bitch, you don't need to be wearing this. But then I done seen some white girls, and I was like, God damn.
Thick than a mug, boy. Man. Yeah, I forgot. Hold on. I'm looking at what's his name, John Legend and his wife.
What he got, a white wife?
Nah, what is her name? Something Tegan. I think her last name is Tegan. She's I'm trying to remember, is she Korean or I think she's from Thailand or some shit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he like that soy sauce, kind of like me and shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that soy sauce.
Now look at Zoe Saldana. She's married to a white guy. He looks like he likes rock and roll or some shit.
Yeah, man, he look like he probably worked with you. The dude you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, and then I got white homies too. Mm-hmm. So it's like I said, like I done had white homies that was like, man, and I say, man, go get up on it. She probably don't like white dudes. How you know that? How you know that, bro? She ain't been giving us no play, my nigga. She might only like white dudes.
Oh yeah.
And I used to be slick mad at black females that used to like only white dudes. Now, if they dating all kind of dudes, then shit, she just fucking with who she want to fuck with. But if she say, I don't mess with, like if a black girl say, I don't mess with black dudes, bitch, I want to drop kick your ass. I want to call my sister and be like, whoop this bitch ass. Like, don't give up on black dudes. What the fuck? I ain't saying don't fuck with white dudes or other dudes, but like, you don't fuck with black dudes. Why? I might call her, bitch, get your coon ass out of here. You need to like every motherfucking body. But then dudes got to be the same way. Because black girls will look at black dudes and be like, this is fine ass black dude. He take care of his kids. Why the fuck he with a white girl? It ain't because he don't like black girls. Especially if the white girl that he with look her body better than the black girls that he seeing. That means he was just attracted to her. He didn't give a fuck what color she was, because once I started really getting pussy, and then once I knew you can get paid off pussy, and I seen other people getting, I'm not saying I got paid off pussy, but when I seen other motherfuckers making money off pussy and shit, I realized like you can't discriminate against the pussy. As long as the bitch skin ain't purple or green.
It's all good.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's colors that I can identify with, the only ones I really don't like, and I think I said this on other shows, I don't like the pasty white Sheamus. You know, like the wrestling nigga Sheamus, pasty white.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, don't nobody want them bitches, man. Like them my bad Viking people. If you listening, I don't want no Viking people, man.
Yeah, Paige is like that too. She's pale just like her, man.
No, I don't want to. And that's just my. I'm not saying they're not beautiful, but that just ain't my preference. I don't want.
Yeah. At least have a tan. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
at least have somewhat of a tan.
Yeah, I don't want to give you a hug and look like I committed a 3rd-degree assault. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
handprints left on it. Shit.
Yeah, I don't want to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna try to help you melanin. I love melanin. You know what I'm saying? So and it's the same way with dark people. Like I love dark skinned women too, but bitch, if you looking like a piece of charcoal, I'm probably not gonna want to fuck with you.
Yeah, I seen a pretty dark skinned girl. I mean, real pretty.
Huh?
She had a nice body. I'm like, she told me she said I'm too dark for her. I'm like, yo, I'm light skinned. What the fuck? So she liked the high yellow dudes. I'm like, I guess I'm out, huh? But right now it's 10:15. We're gonna go to our first music break, man. I enjoy these music. We'll be right back, huh?
For sure. Enjoy your time.
Yo, yo,
Yo, D.
man, oh man, that
We've been
interracial
talking
dating.
interracial dating. Even behind the scenes, we were just talking interracial dating. Like, how many of y'all are interracial dating?
We're not just
If they
talking about white
accept
girls. We talking about
it.
all
We
races.
talking all aspects, meaning somebody that's not culturally from your race or in your race. So you could be black on Mexican. You could be Mexican on black. You could be black on white.
Hmm.
You could be white on Italian because them Italian motherfuckers ain't the way white. It's different breed of white people, just like it's different breed of black people. But when
Hmm.
you look at it, it ain't no different breed of black people. If you black, your ass black. You black all the way. And if you white and you get a drop of black blood in you, be
Hmm.
ready for what comes with that shit. You,
Curly hair, light eyes, light skin.
I ain't even talking about that. D, I ain't even talking about that. Like because how many white people that you just seen in tan? Like I know a white boy right now, and everybody think he Mexican. He not Mexican. He just tan like that, and he get his hair cut like Paul Wall. So they
Hmm.
think he from Texas. And nah, his folks is white as the pure driven snow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Damn.
they like Icelandic motherfuckers. But this nigga know all the talent. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is like once they tell you black, I think Jack Kim had a post like about Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. Like if your skin is certain color, what do people think you is, or some shit like that. Man, they identify you as black, man. If you got African ancestry in you, you're a black man or a black woman.
Hmm.
Period. Period. Just point blank. Period. But we already know why we want to date outside our race. But what makes some of the races want to date outside their race when they know they people gonna hate on them? What makes a white girl just say, "I'm gonna fuck with this dude anyway, even though I know my people is bubbing them"? You think they be infatuated, or do they be really in love with that person and be in tune with what they finna go through, or do they just be dickmatized? Not hypnotized, but dickmatized
Well,
or pussy whipped.
they want to know if that myth is true. Once you go black, you never go back.
Myth.
And no, they say it's a myth, and when they find out it's true, it's like, okay, now I know the reason why they say that. Then they fall in love, and like you said, that the families fall in love not with the idea.
Mm.
Some families will be happy that the person that their child is dating or married to or having a baby by is treating them right, and they come from a good home. They're cool with that. If there's some guy that's just, you know, he ain't doing shit with his life and he's always in the street, and this girl
Hmm.
loves him, her family be like, you know what, you need to mess with, like you said, Johnny, and he's got his shit together. He's going to college.
Right.
She's messing with, she's messing with Quam from the block. you know what
Jaquan. He messing with Jaquan's hand truck
I'm
from the block.
you know what I'm saying? And she's happy because the man do what he do. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
She's like you say dick when I say she dick with. That's all it is, man.
Yeah. I
And you
say
got
dickmatized.
yeah, yeah.
She ain't hypnotized, but she dickmatized.
And it was crazy because Dominican women most of the time they rather date Dominican men. Now the ones that date outside of that, they'll mess with a black man. Some of the Dominican women could be just as dark as me or darker than me
Right.
and have a problem with that. Like you call a black like nah, not papa, not papa. Me from Dominican Republic. Like no, mama. You black just like I am. know
You
what the
been over
fuck you
there,
talking about.
you been over there telling them, you been explaining the words to them like this, bitch, you is black.
Yes.
And you think it's a motherfucker. And your brother and them don't know what the fuck they talking about because the Dominican dudes, they hollering at the black females that, that's from right in the hood. Because our black females, they be thinking they fucking with somebody new and different.
Mm-hmm.
Like my man, he Dominican, he Puerto Rican. And you be looking at the bitch like, bitch, this nigga Jimmy been hollering at you for the last 3 years, bitch. This nigga took you to prom. He did all this other shit. I'm telling you, man, I used to get tight. The same way girls get mad when black dudes fuck with white girls. I'm not gonna front if I see a fine black woman with a white dude, dog.
You start hating.
I don't be hating. I ain't no hater, D. Back it up. Easy, but I be slick. We call it slick hating. Like I got to
Oh.
show it, but deep down inside, I'm like, this pussy ass nigga. And I'm talking about he could be the realest white dude or person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He could be the cure to all my problems. But he wouldn't even get the time of day because he was with this nice looking black girl and I felt like she should be with a black dude. But then I turn around and I have a baby with a woman. So
Mm-hmm.
who the fuck am I to be mad at this female if I'm doing the same shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, my nigga.
It's
It's
always
fucking
crazy, man.
crazy.
It's always crazy. It's. I think the everything is changing because interracial dating is everywhere. No matter where you from, where you at, you walk outside, you'll see a West Indian woman dealing with a Hispanic man. Like she could be from Barbados, born and raised. She's messing with a man from Dominican Republic, and they make beautiful babies. And when that child gets older and start going
Hmm.
to school, people start asking questions like, "Why's your hair so curly?" or is your dad mixed? Stuff like that. Like
Right.
kids do that. Like even my daughter's age, kids like they look at like they're like there's a girl in my daughter's class that's mixed, and
Mixed with what though?
yeah, some kids would pick on her because she looks different, not knowing that she's biracial herself. Her mom's is white, her dad is black. And she lives in an area where there's everything is mixed. Like in this part of Brooklyn, there's a lot of West Indian, Black, and Hispanics people lived here in this area. So that's all you see. When you start seeing like the white folks moving in and they have biracial babies, everything's acceptable because that's all you see throughout the five boroughs. So you may see a Puerto Rican man with a black woman. Okay, you see that all the time. You see let's say a Russian woman dealing with a black man, it's like, oh, that's different. Like when I was in high school, my teacher was from Russia and her husband was black, and she
Hmm.
changed her last name. She was in love. This is like in the early '90s, so I don't know what's going on now. So she was happy. She let it be known. She said, "No, Mrs. and da da da," and like we was talking about race and how it was back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and how it is
Right.
now. Back then it was you couldn't even look at a white woman, not even a thought of
Nah, man, you
speaking
see what
to
they
one.
did? I'm about to tell you, see what they did to Emmett Till, man. They
Oh
said
yeah,
Emmett Till,
for
and he was
whistling
supposed to
at
be
a white
black,
woman.
and we got taught that from adolescence because
Hmm.
I know people that's actually related to the Till family. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that was told to us always coming up too. That's probably why my grandma used to be like that. Like you better not bring no white girl. I didn't have my grandmother actually tell me that shit. Don't bring no white girl over here.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, well, shit, ain't Kathy and ain't Sharon they white? And then grandma them play it off like I'm just talking shit. But for real, I think they were subconsciously trying to tell us like they know we love the shit out of them. So I never wanted to displease my grandmother. So it was times where I really didn't fully pursue a white girl because I didn't see myself bringing her to my house. Did I miss out, or was my grandmother on to something? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I really don't know, D. Especially now that I got a biracial son, though. And I always
Mhm.
tell him. Now, if people ask me, how do I raise my son? I tell them all the time, look at my skin tone. That's how they're gonna look at you. Always pretend you the same color as me, because I ain't never left their life. So they already, even if you tell somebody you not all the way black, nigga, I'm finna come to every PTA that I can, every concert, all this shit. Like you ain't gonna be able to lie this shit up, nigga.
Mhm.
They gonna see me. I got tattoos on my arm. Yes, I do have a felony conviction. So if one, I even had parents, because my son was in, because we didn't even talk about that, D. What about your kids in interracial relationships?
I, I
Let
don't.
Let's
I
go.
wouldn't
Let's go
care.
beyond. I'm about to say, let's go beyond us. Now, your daughter a little younger, way younger than my son. But what I'm saying is, what's gonna happen one of these days, D. Holly? And I'm not saying you're gonna let your daughter date, but eventually it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck how strong of a father you is. They need to have somebody in their life. But what's gonna happen when she bring Thomas to the crib instead of Terrell? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that.
What's gonna happen, man? Like, is you gonna look at her or you gonna look at her
Nah,
upbringing?
you know what?
How you gonna go about that?
I'll probably go about it as like just, you know, I wouldn't be too hard on the kid. I would like, as my normal daughter, most daughters would tell their father the good things about the guy that they love, they fall in love
Right,
with. They'll kind of leave out the stuff that they don't want their father to know. Like, well, he got a charge of armed robbery, but it wasn't his fault. Some shit like that. I'd rather know everything. He be sagging his pants, like, you wear fucking skinny jeans, he carry a purse, like, well, what the fuck he do, man? He go to school, he got a job, like, those are things I want to know because you don't want your child that carries your last name to be out there looking crazy, to be making fun of, to look stupid.
nah, man.
You don't want to come home like,
You want to
yo,
be
man, I saw your
model.
daughter out with this bomb ass nigga, like, this is what we doing there? This how you raising a nigga? Like, no. You rep it. See, women don't understand is when you go outside, you acting crazy, looking crazy, you're making your your significant other look crazy because you are a reflection of him because you carry his last name. We're talking about a married woman. You carry his last name. You don't carry yours. So if you look bad out in these streets and you carry yourself out there and you looking crazy and your kids look crazy like you looking good and your fucking kids look dusty, you making the man look bad, cause that looks crazy. You don't do no shit like that. I can't stand to see that, man. Like beautiful women, kids look dirty and she looking good. Like what the fuck is going on? It's just I think it's a good thing to be in a interracial relationship because you get to see what their family's like, what their culture, what they do. Like let me give you an example. Like my nephew's cousin, his wife, he's black, and his wife is Indian. She's from India. When I first met her years ago, real nice. She's real down to earth, and kind of found out she loves to cook. So when I think it was like my nephew's first birthday, and she made curry chicken and rice and peas, and they was like, "Yo, it's too spicy." And I'm like, "Shit, that shit is it's spicy enough." She did her thing, and they have two kids. They have a little boy and a little girl. Little boy, both of them have straight hair, and when it gets wet, it curls up. You know, and that's one thing like I guess it comes from her side because this man loves her to death. She loves him to death. They
Right.
was together for years before they got married, before they had kids together. So that's a beautiful thing where that's something that good's coming out being a into being a having biracial babies from someone that's from a different culture,
Right.
especially someone that studies that culture from from when they was kids up until now. So when they have kids, their kids could do the same thing, give them
Right.
that
D.
choice.
D. Because what I'm about to say, I'll never. Because see, me being here in the Midwest, every time I looked at interracial relationships, it was always white and black until
Uh-huh.
I started dating a girl that wasn't all the way white.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then people still found a way to be like, well, damn, yeah, her mama from the Philippines, but she a white girl because her
Hmm.
daddy white. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of things that you saying, like it ain't a whole lot of Dominicans out this way. I'm not saying it ain't none, but it's not a big Dominican community or Latin community. And the Latin community is mostly like Mexicans, like undocumented Mexicans, and they don't fuck with black folks for real. So I don't really know. So most of the interracial relationships out here is black and white.
Hmm.
So you just gave me some insight into, yeah, Bosnian. We got a lot of Bosnians out here. White folks, but Bosnians white folks too though.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I'm about to say, D, what's the contrast to that though? How do you teach? I'm just trying to see how we teach our kids if they biracial. Like, what do we tell them they is?
well, at a young age, it'll be hard to explain that to them when they under 10 years old. When they get 10, 12, 13, they'll start to be curious because they'll start saying at a young age that kids are picking on them because the way they look, the way they dress, the way their hair is, and their hair may be straighter than the girl in the class who got nappy hair, or their skin may be lighter than others, or maybe darker, or they have green eyes, and kids will start asking questions. Well, how come my hair is curly and this girl hair is, you know, is straight? You just have to explain them. The reason why, because you get it from your mom's side. Your mom is she's from Guyana, or she's from Trinidad, or and just explain to the child like this is what happens when mommy and daddy got together, you know, and it gets just break down the family history, and then explain to the child how things go how things are gonna go as she gets older, again, from public school from elementary school to middle school up to high school. Like kids today see it all the time. They don't care. They play. You know, they don't say nothing until someone says something to them like, well, how come your hair looks like that? Or how come your hair is always, you always have braids? Like, how come you don't have it straight like mine? And the child would just come on, just ask questions. And that'd be the time to explain to them, it's like, hey, your grandfather's from here. Your grandmother's from here. That's why you look like me and your hair looks like mommy's and stuff like that. You just explain to them as they get older, so they'll understand. So if someone approached them or to say something positive or negative, they know how to respond. But that's how I see it. Me having a 7-year-old little girl who talks like she's 12. So that's what I go through. That's about it.
Yeah, D, it's crazy that you say that because my niece over here, she's 7 years too. She's 7 years old too, the same age as your daughter, right?
Hmm.
And my brother, he and it, he I don't even tell his business, but he kind of in an interracial relationship, but not in a relationship. But it's the same thing. Like sometimes interracial relationships don't work because different cultures don't understand certain cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like certain things that we go through as black people and the way we see the world, this white girl will never fucking understand. Or vice versa. Some shit that we tripping off of, she could be like, cause she got that privilege. She might be like, Jay, you overreacted. And I'm like, bitch, you don't even fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big contrast too when you talking about interracial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
What's the contrast on that shit though in your eyes though? Like do you think do you think that some people hinder themselves from getting in interracial relationships because they fear what other people gonna say about the shit?
Well, some do because some do where they're um, afraid that they'll disappoint their family members, especially like a father, who's strict on, I don't want you dating outside your race. And when you bring that person home, it's like they're happy, like they, like making jokes or saying something sarcastic to disrespect the girl's boyfriend, or let's say if the she comes home, like let's say the girl is Russian and she brings a young black man from the hood up there, but he go to school, he got his shit together, never been arrested. The father will find, let's say the father's, his mentality is, I want you to date someone that's not black, don't
Right,
bring that home. And she bring it home, but she's telling him everything good about him, and he's gonna try to find something wrong with him to show her that, I already told you this is why I don't like these type of people and blah blah blah.
mm,
And the father may change his mind. Not even when if she has a child or children, it's the
right,
type like he's not like everyone that you hear or see on
right,
TV or in movies or in videos. He's the total opposite. Long as my thing is, long as he makes you happy, the family should be happy with that.
right.
Don't just tear him down just because of
Right,
something that you think is going to happen or you saw. Everyone's
right,
not the same. Everyone is different.
right. I was just about to say that, D, because like I'm gonna give you another instance because it's running up and shit. So I want to get this in before we get out there. But with my oldest son, he's 6 years older than my youngest son, who's biracial,
Uh
right?
huh.
So at the same time, my youngest son knows his big brother, and his big brother's the same skin tone as me.
Mhm.
So my youngest son sometimes have wondered why his skin don't look exactly like me, even though I'm not with his mother. His mother husband is the same skin tone as me, and all of my son's step brothers and sisters are the same skin tone as me.
Mhm.
So even through his life on his dad's side, he the lightest motherfucker, and even on his mother's side, dealing with other motherfuckers, he the lightest dude. So that's what I told him. I said, look, man, look at me. I'm your pops, right? You know what I'm saying? You see my dad. My dad was lighter skinned than me, but nobody looked at my dad and thought he was mixed. They knew he was a black guy. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
we wasn't we wasn't crispy. We wasn't crunchy black. We ain't. I've been trying to get that Wesley Snipes complexion. If I go to these white folks go tan, if I go tan, I'm trying to be like Wesley Snipes. You feel what I'm saying? Like I know, sometimes I hated when motherfuckers told me I wasn't like you had to be mixed with some or like y'all ain't purebred. Like I had black people tell me we not purebred because we ain't dark enough. So they can miss us with that shit. I don't care about that when it comes to my kids. So what I tell
Mhm.
my son is when I finds out that he's dating white woman, the first thing I want to do is I want to meet that girl's parents. I don't even want to meet the girl. I want to see what the parents of this girl is like because they might not like black people. And if something happened to my son, it's like that. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Mhm.
He don't beat girls. He don't do none of that shit. I'm not saying he won't do none of that shit because it's never happened, and I don't want to fathom that. But what I'm saying is he ain't raised like that. So I want to know what he, so nobody can come tell me and say they did something to my son because he, nah, this ain't how he was raised. He fucked with a girl about, but some people don't like little young black dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to tell him things and let him go through racist experiences on himself. Now he told me her parents never was on some racist shit, but he went to a family function where it was people in her family where he felt uncomfortable when he was there. And I said, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "I just went and sat in the car because I was gonna smack the shit out of one of her cousins."
Mm.
And you know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Why didn't you call me?" And he was like, "Dad, it wasn't. I ain't need you there because I know what you finna do." You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was telling me, "We got this shit, my nigga." You know what I'm saying? Just I didn't feel good and I didn't want to leave her. You know what I'm saying? So I just waited in the ride.
But
But
where
she
was
already
she
know.
at? She didn't come to talk to him or
Of
tell her
course she
family like,
did.
"Nah, don't act
But
like
but
that."
but now she feeling conflicted. So now it's putting this chick into a situation where she can't be pitted against her family over, especially a black dude. So that's when I told him. I said, "Did she stay outside with you the whole time or did she go in?" He said, "She stayed outside with me the whole time until her mother and father left." I said, "Well, then you fuck with her because she stuck
Mm-hmm.
with you. But if she went in and just came out there to check on you, then she gonna choose her family over you. That ain't the one for you. You need a woman that's gonna be there for you, and you gonna meet black girls that do the same shit." You know what I'm saying? Like the color really don't matter is what I'm saying to sum it
Mm-hmm.
all up. Now the color only matters when you want to teach history. But some people like history class and some people like art class. So, you know what I'm saying? As long as you telling the truth, we're gonna rise to the top with it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
lie to your kids and tell them what can happen to them. If you got a mixed son and they identify him as black, you got to let them know the black struggle. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can decipher it on his own. You know, but if you go out here and thinking that you entitled because your mama white, these police don't see that shit when you got nappy hair. They'll beat your motherfucking ass out here, man, if you let them. Or you put them up on it. We can all agree on that shit. It
Mm-hmm.
is a such thing in America called white privilege.
Oh, it's still going on.
Damn right,
It's
I
still
debate that
going
all day.
on.
I debate that all day, every day, D. You know what I'm saying? It is that. And when you have children that's interracial or children that have interracial siblings, you gotta teach them the reality of shit, man. We already know because we up there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. But how do you deal with um when you, let's say you dating a white girl, or you're dating, let's say you're dating a Dominican woman, and
I never
her,
dated a Dominican woman though.
well, I'm
So
just
keep it
saying, let's say you were,
hypothetically.
hypothetically speaking, let's say you're dating a Dominican woman, and she loves you no matter what. Her mom likes you, but the dad is like kind of iffy because he he's happy she found someone that loves her, but in his
Hmm.
mind it's like, I'm not saying all of them, but some will be like, you know what, I'd rather her date someone that's from her country, that's from where she likes, is from Dominican Republic, because they could keep that bloodline going, but not knowing that they're black as well, because some of us darker than me, and they look at you like they treat you different, not all, but some would, because I had a friend of mine who I went to school with years ago. He was dating, well, his baby mom's is Dominican, and he was so
But
in
what,
love with her. Yeah,
but this is what it is. She was Dominican, but what her skin tone look like? What they look at her as?
she
If
was
they
she
look
was
at,
brown skin.
that's what I'm saying. So they probably looked at her like she was black. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know that aspect of the game because anytime I've dated outside of my race, I've never dated outside of my race and they look just like me. Is that some crazy shit?
Nah.
I've never, I've never dated a different race and their skin tone was the same color as mine. It was either I was darker than them. Well, all the time I was darker than them and they was lighter because I dated white chicks and I dated some Asian chicks before. You know what I'm saying? And that
Mhm.
was it. So I don't know because and then the Asian chicks that I dated, they was over here through white privilege. So they wasn't like going to Chinatown Chinese. They like the Chinese American motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like or they the Filipino American motherfuckers, or they the Japanese American. Like they folks is from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They, I probably didn't fuck with TMS people or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in college and shit, that's what I got down with because you know what I'm saying. That's when my name started becoming Mac. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get to that, you know what I'm saying? I get to that shit, man. We talk that shit. But man, I never dated somebody outside of my race that was the same color. So it was always looked upon the opposite way. Like riding with my son's mother, we done pulled up to people and people look at us in the car and shake their heads. I'm like, what the fuck they shaking their head for?
This makes seem like, oh, he crazy. What's wrong with him? Like,
Right.
the fuck you mean, man?
Yeah, I had that shit happen to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Almost to the point where it made me want to follow them and ask them, why the fuck y'all looked at us like that? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got a problem with me being with what y'all thought was a white girl? Like that shit is crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up having a son by her. What do I tell my son? Can I tell him about the time when I was mad that somebody was looking at me and his mother funny? Or can I build from that shit? And that's what it's about, bro. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
if he ever go through that, then you just explain to him, like, yo, I've been through that. This is what you do. This is what you don't do.
Exactly. There you go,
You know,
D.
that's all.
Talk that shit. That's exactly what
Shit, man.
you right. You just gotta let them know what you went through and let them make their own shit up because I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, nobody that's born after probably like 2007 is pure anything in America. If you was born in America, you probably mixed with something. Period. Unless your people just moved here. Like they got off the boat. Both of them was from Africa and they had the baby in America. Other than that, you ain't pure shit. America is really a mixing pot, man. We all got something in us, man, especially our kids, man. And they growing up with different people too. So, you know, the neighborhoods ain't traditional like they used to be. So some people
That's
like down in the South, they don't even grow up with white people. And then they get grown and then they finally meet a girl. Hence the song Jungle Fever. Wesley Snipes
mm-hmm.
end up meeting this and they wasn't even, they was Italian. They didn't even put traditional white people in that movie. It was still two typecast of people, which, you know what I'm saying, I can go deeper, deeper, and deeper and let people know how Italy ain't even they shit. We left Italy. We gave that to them. You know what I'm saying? You can
Mm-hmm.
have this. We moving on. We looking for something else. All this shit was us first. Period. But that's a whole different story. We can talk that shit another time.
Maybe another time, but
Yeah, another time, yeah.
I think if you
What time is it now?
so
Oh yeah,
3
we
minutes
gotta
too.
I hope Mel Quan listen. Mel Quan, if you listening, man, we want you on the show next week. We ain't gonna even tell you what it's about, but if you available next Wednesday, man, holler at us. Well, actually, we gonna hit you up.
Yeah,
Mel Quan,
man.
we got something for you, man. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk that shit with Mel Quan. I like how Mel Quan talk his shit. What about you, D?
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. You know he a Jets fan. That's my guy.
Yeah, he fucked up when he did that. The same way with Jay Quan. It's quite a few motherfuckers. We love the way y'all talk y'all shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if we call upon you.
Oh
If we call
yeah.
upon you, you got love for us, man. Come fuck with us. If not, still show us some love anyway, man.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
always, always. But one more thing about biracial dating, dating someone outside your race, just don't let someone outside your race or someone in your family dictate who you fall in love with. Because once they do that, you let that happen, it's gonna trickle down to your kids and their kids and their kids' kids. Because you don't want them to think that, don't mess with this race, don't mess with that race. They
Fact.
only your own. It's not fair to them. You got to let them
Nah,
choose who they fall in love with, and don't
exactly.
tell them, well, you better not bring them to my house. Well, I've seen girls where the father was like that, and the father never saw the child, and he was upset because his daughter didn't want to bring the child around him because his way of thinking wasn't up with the times.
Mm.
So you thinking about in the 50s and 60s, man? What's wrong with you?
Exactly. We ain't too far removed from that.
Nah,
You see what I'm saying?
it's still happening, you know.
Fact. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And when you should see it better because the technology is more available, it seems like they try to cover that. But you just got to teach your kids the right thing, man. All of this shit, these people got to realize everything that's wicked in the world is designed to fuck with your kids, man. You know what
Of
I'm saying?
course.
All of this shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. You could be talking about Roseanne or Pusha T, uh, or whatever. I guarantee you, your kid got a. Some of these people got kids that got F's, but they know what's going on some bullshit.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know what I'm
damn
saying?
shame.
All of this, all of this shit is designed to distract your children from what's really important and give you a harder time on raising them. So that's the fight. But we can't get mad at it. You gotta take that fight head on. So whether it's interracial dating or them going to school, because they go to school now and they gotta worry about kids coming in there with some bullshit, trying to kill up some shit. I
Yeah.
never worried about that shit. You know, we never worried about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times it be on some race shit. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Somebody was getting picked on. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looked out for me. So fuck all y'all. I'm spraying these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some crazy shit. But
Oh
just
yeah.
think if the agenda is for us not to all connect with each other, the first thing they're gonna attack is the interracial dating, man. And the majority of the new Americans all got some different type of blood in them, no matter what, man. And we should
Well,
embrace that shit.
well, it's
You
about
feel me?
that time, man. Well, it's time. Let's
Yeah.
get out of here. See ya
Yeah, let's get
next
out of
week.
here.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
no
Mac.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give us a hint. Tell me your social media and PayPal,
hey
man.
man, always check us out, what I'm saying, right here on Ruckus Radio Live and the Ruckus Radio page on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? It's MacJ78 on Instagram, Justin MacJ on Facebook. I very rarely be on that, but anything UGS for life, UGS, the number 4LIFE.com. Make sure y'all, hey, D, I don't know if you heard, I'm gonna have to send it to you. You gotta check out the Fuck the Lane Stream album, bro. You gotta check that
Oh
shit out,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I'll definitely do that,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? Shouts out to Rich. Shouts out to everybody in the Hunt game, man. It's Hun None.
Salute, huh?
Yeah. Whether you with us or not, but this a whole new day, whole new age, man. And we gonna keep it rolling over here, bro. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
And I'm gonna give it to you, D. If you
That's
fuck
D
with me, you
Holla. You can
stuck
check
with me,
me out
right?
at on IG Team Lightskin. PayPal is dholla78 at yahoo.com. We'll be back next week. Same day, same time. Wednesday night, 9:15. Sometime we change it to 9:30. Gonna have a new topic and gotta contact my guy, Mel Mel Quan. All right, so we out. Salute to everyone that listened. Salute, huh? We'll see y'all next week, huh? All right, Rich, take it away.